This is Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts, Christian Nossum.
Well, when you're selling, you got to know who your buyer is, and you got to know how to market to them. I do.
And Dan Keller, mortgage expert with New American Funding.
Hey, rates are important, but strategy matters more than ever.
For the next hour, you'll learn impactful insider information as Christian and Dan teach about the ins and outs of Seattle's real estate market. Now, here's Christian and Dan.
Hello and welcome to Seattle Real Estate Radio here on KKOL 1300 AM. Man, I am excited to get back in the studio. Last time we were in here, I was not feeling so well. I'm feeling better now. Felt like I was dragging down the show a little, but now I'm all better.
It was kind of a bad show. I'm joking. You've got a good team. We lifted you up. We got your back.
I thought it was a good show.
I thought it was a great show. I'm just joking.
Before we go any further, I got to say happy birthday to Dan the Man Keller.
It is Monday, September 26th.
And that is Dan's birthday.
Big 41.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see if I can
Oh, geez,
do
the sound effects. Look out.
Yay.
The golf clap.
Golf clap. Happy birthday, Dan.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good to be here.
The big 73?
41.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting there. I spoke at an event the other night, and on the when they gave my intro, it said 2014 top 40 lender in America under 40 by Mortgage Professional Magazine. And I said, listen, I'm proud of this. This is something that, I earned when I was 38.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. I'm 41 now.
And I'm 41 now, so I am no longer under 40.
I'm no longer allowed to be on this list. So anyways, I guess we should probably tell people who we are.
Let's do it,
Yeah, I am Christian Nossum. I am the founder of the Awesome Nossum Group, which is a team of real estate agents at Wilson Realty Exchange. And this is my co-host.
Yeah, Dan Keller, mortgage advisor at New American Funding. So I am under a ton of, I got a bunch of eyes in the skies. We're so regulated nowadays. So anytime I talk about finance or mention my name with New American Funding, I do need to disclose that my MLO, that's my mortgage loan originator's number, is 115349.
Niner.
Yeah, Niner. For all the compliance officers out there that are listening in. But no, all joking aside, we're getting a lot of new listeners. And I think it's important that that's kind of the power of social media and some of the things that we're doing online. Some of our guests are sharing our information. And so, if it's your first time, if it's your first time listening, Christian's one of the top real estate agents in the Seattle marketplace. He's savvy real estate investor himself. He's got a great team. and me too. I'm in the finance industry, in the mortgage industry.
Yeah, Dan is one of the top 1% in the nation.
Yeah.
He speaks regularly at mortgage and real estate conferences around the country as one of the top speakers there.
Yep.
So we both know our stuff pretty well. We don't like to brag about ourselves, but we feel like, if you're going to listen to someone, make sure that they know what they're doing and they're talking about.
Well, the biggest thing is we're pretty passionate about what we do. Yeah. And that's what we do. We come together once a week and we share what I've learned over the last week, what I know is coming into the marketplace this coming week, and we combine the best of both of our worlds. Me being in the financial sector, you being in the trenches in real estate. And you and your team you're doing a lot of business right now, and you've got a great team, by the way. Yeah. And so it's just that I try to tell my clients this. I don't ever talk about my production and the amount of people that we're helping to be arrogant. Yep. I say that to impress upon you that experience is valuable right now in the marketplace. We're seeing so many different situations and scenarios, and the market's moving like crazy. So
and we had, you got to know who you're working with, and there's a lot of new people, new real estate agents, particular. Coming into the market, is there a lot of new kind of mortgage people coming in as well?
The barrier, it's much like we've talked on the last show about appraisers, and the reason why there aren't a ton of appraisers right now is because the barrier of entry is so difficult for them to get into, with the internships and the regulations and everything and the exams. And so I think that there's the average age of today's realtor, for example, I think that is like 55, 56.
It's actually 59.
59, okay.
Yeah.
So
average age. Yeah.
And so it's a pretty darn close in the mortgage industry, and it's right there for appraisers. And so I like to think that, at 41, I'm kind of obviously right there in the middle.
Yeah.
What really, really gets me kind of jacked up for a good, positive is when I go to these conferences, I'm seeing these 28, 26, 28, 30-year-old young men and women getting into the mortgage industry, and they're savvy, they're educated. It's not like
they're
when
not
I got
sales.
They're not just. I kind of got into this industry to make a quick commission, like a lot of the people in the late '90s and early 2000s were getting into real estate and finance. So
I don't think that's the case on the agent side. I think there are a lot of people just trying to make a quick buck and doing it part time and all that stuff. So just got to make sure that whoever you're working with is experienced, knows what they're doing, because that can easily make or break you getting a house or selling your house for top dollar.
And I see it all the time. I mean, obviously, unfortunately, I don't. We work together a lot, and I really can see the difference when we work together with our clients and how educated they are and how smooth things typically go. Versus when you've got listing agents and and other buyers agents that are just
don't know what's
not
going
as
on.
experienced and as professional. So
So on a quick personal note, now that we've kind of gone over a little bit like that, what are you doing for your birthday? Doing anything fun?
Just chilling, probably with the family. We got to take some time off this weekend and hang out with some really cool people on Friday night. You might know those people.
Yeah, I think I might have been one of them.
Yeah. So just relaxing, man. Jenny's got a lot on her plate right now.
That's his wife. By the
my
way.
wife Jenny. With opening up a little bakery.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. So and she's Miss event planner and party planner, and she's working with a lot of really big brands right now. And so just kind of chilled out.
Cool.
Yeah.
We have some big news. We just we're not pregnant.
I was going to say.
That's usually what follows that. That's not what we're saying. No, we're planning a trip to Hawaii, so we just got tickets and stuff.
Nice.
Going to Hawaii in early December.
Are you doing the Disney? Did you tell me about that before?
Yeah,
the
we're going to do
Resort?
Alani.
Yeah.
And there's actually a real estate conference there at the same time, right next door.
Nice.
The Four Seasons. So
you might have to crash a real estate conference.
Yeah, I bought my tickets for that already, and it's going to be it's going to be business expense, but also family fun. So
I'm thinking that's going to be a good idea.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
I want your feedback on that resort. We've had friends that have gone there, and they love it. Yeah, absolutely love it. So
I'm sure
you
it's
guys.
Gonna be cool.
You need a break. You've been working your tail off.
I work a lot.
Shannon has been too.
Yes, definitely.
The brains behind the show.
Yes, the brains, the brawn, we're just the voice. She does everything else.
The good looks.
Exactly.
Everything.
She brings up a lot of barriers up here.
So let's stop talking about Shannon.
All right.
No. Let's talk about some real estate.
All right.
Welcome to this week's Seattle Real Estate Minute with Christian Nossum.
So last week, Seattle Times came out with a very interesting article that I kind of have been talking about already. It's not really affecting the Seattle side of the market, but it's much more on the east side. And that is all of the Chinese wealth coming into the real estate market. And it is a ton. And I spoke back and I did a video about it right after that breakfast. But back in, I think, February or March, I went to a economic forecast breakfast. And it was dealing with, the world as a whole economically and then breaking it down to our region specifically. And they basically said 47% of people in China that have $1 million or more, which you would think that's not a lot, but that's actually a ton of people. They are actively trying to get their money out of China. So they do not believe in China's economy.
Wow.
So basically half the people in China that have $1 million or more are actively trying to get it out. What they're doing with that money is they're buying real estate. They were buying that real estate in Vancouver. Vancouver implemented a 15% tax about 3 weeks, month ago, something like that at this point.
Yeah, you talked about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now that everybody that was buying in Vancouver, they have now shifted down to our market, down to Seattle.
Wow.
And these buyers are generally paying all cash. They are a lot of times overpaying for a house. They're not even often living in the house. They're just buying it and parking it, and sometimes it's sitting there vacant. Sometimes they try to rent it. They're generally buying $1 million plus homes, which is you're seeing a lot in like Clyde Hill, Bellevue. I mean, kind of the higher end neighborhoods, and it's upsetting some people. It's making some people happy. You got the whole gamut of emotions going on. And it's kind of interesting because the inquiries, the online searches that were happening in Vancouver, they have now, everybody obviously has come to Seattle, but as the U.S. as a whole, Seattle is getting more searches than any other city from these Chinese buyers. So one of the biggest real estate websites that most Chinese buyers use, they're the ones that are kind of spitting these stats out and stuff. So it's pretty interesting. There's a lot of money coming into this area. But again, it's mostly for $1 million plus homes. It's mostly east side. And it's not really, I have not seen the effects in Seattle so much, especially in the under $1 million homes, which that's most homes in Seattle, I'd say. But you are starting to see it a little bit in Seattle here and there. But again, most of the time it's east side. The things that they like are very safe neighborhoods, great schools, and people like themselves living in the same community.
So these are owner occupied. These aren't investors necessarily. They're own. No. Yes. No.
Yes. No.
50-50?
Yeah. Probably. Wow. I don't know actually.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of times, and I know some houses that I drive by quite a bit that I know were purchased by a Chinese investor or someone paying all cash, and the house is just sitting there vacant, and it's been vacant for probably a year and a half.
Wow. Just gobbling it up.
Yeah, and eventually, or every once in a while, maybe every 2-3 months, someone will come through and clean out the inside and like have a cleaning crew and a yard crew come by, and then they just let it sit there again. So they're literally just parking their money out of China in the U.S. in real
Seattle.
estate.
Wow.
Kind of crazy. So
really crazy.
yeah. So today's show, it's kind of a good lead-in, somewhat. We're talking about new construction and kind of as a buyer, what you need to pay attention to and what you need to know as a buyer when it comes to buying a new construction house. So our guest on the show today is Kevin Pierce of Cascade Builder Services. And Kevin's actually the only person that I know that does this kind of thing. So what he does, he's not actually a builder. He assists the builder, so he's hired by builders to basically come in and do all of the final walkthroughs of the home, educate the purchaser, the buyer, of how the systems work, because a lot of the systems in a newer home are a little more upgraded, tech savvy. So educating them on that. And then also dealing with the 1-year warranty. So when you buy new construction, state of Washington actually has a 1-year home warranty attached. And so he deals with all of the items that come up during that 1-year warranty span.
Nice.
So it is it's going to be a good show. So if you are a new construction buyer, you're definitely going to want to listen to this and learn some. So we got to take a quick break. Stay tuned for more Seattle Real Estate Radio after the break.
Stay tuned. There's more Seattle Real Estate Radio coming up here on Business Radio 1300 KKOL. We're back with more Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts, Christian Nossum and Dan Keller.
All right. Hey, welcome back to Seattle Real Estate Radio here on KKOL 1300. We are back with a pretty darn cool guest.
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm ready to learn. So new construction is something that I, as a lender, have dabbled in. I don't want to say that I'm a pro at it. I don't want to say that I don't know anything about it. It's a tough market from a lending and even real estate to kind of get into. But we do finance a ton of new construction.
Yeah.
You sell a lot of new construction. And we got a guy here that knows a lot about new construction.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. So today on the show, we have the one and only Kevin Pierce. You like that intro right there?
I love it.
Anyone ever said the one and only Kevin Pierce?
I think that's a first.
All right, yeah. So he is the founder of Cascade Builder Services, and that is a third-party new construction warranty management company for home builders. Been in the business for over 10 years and worked on over 1,000 homes, so he only has a little bit of experience. Only kind of an expert. So what Cascade Builder Services provides is new home orientations with home buyers and manages all aspects of the builder's 1-year warranty. And he founded the company in 2008. And thank you very much for coming on the show today, Kevin.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I guess, and I kind of teased it last segment, kind of explaining what it is you do. But why don't, in your own words, why don't you kind of explain what it is Cascade Builder Services does?
Sure. So we are a third-party warranty management company, as you mentioned. So essentially, we meet about a week prior to closing. We meet with home buyers and do the walkthrough process.
Perfect.
So we're going through the house, talking about orientation type things, how systems work, where the water shutoff valve is, where the gas shutoff valve is, what to do in emergencies, And then we're also providing the blue tape walk.
Yep. So why don't you explain what that is, since most people, even that are buying a new construction home, don't have any clue what that is.
Sure. So in addition to the orientation type things, we're going through the house and looking for any kind of damage. So paint touch-ups, scratches and floors, whatever might need to be fixed before they close on the house.
And so as a buyer, do I need to feel bad about putting a little piece of tape on every little thing throughout the home, or is that kind of what's expected?
I guess it depends on how much tape you're talking about. Sometimes we have buyers that are on their hands and knees and looking, for every little
super fine detail
pockmark they can find. But anything within reason. So we work off industry standards. If there's an obvious scratch in the wall that you can see standing 6 feet back from the wall, it's something that we'll tape and make sure the builder touches up before they move in.
So it's any scuffs on the wall, dents in a cabinet, fridge has a dent in the door or something on accident when they were installing it. Any of those types of things is what we're looking for.
Any kind of cosmetic damage. So you're buying a new house, it should be essentially new.
Yep.
Perfection is not a good word in the industry.
Yeah.
But within reason, it should be new.
Perfect.
Just like buying a car.
So then, after a year, do you come back out and do another walkthrough, or how does that process work?
So in addition to this orientation process, we also manage the 1-year warranty for the builder.
Okay.
Every builder we work for, I think pretty much every builder in the state provides a 1-year workmanship and materials warranty. So after they close and they move in, they may start realizing there's some things that aren't quite working right, and that's where we come in. We set up an online account for each homeowner.
Oh, nice.
And they can log in at any time and submit warranty requests to us.
Sweet. So they don't have to worry about trying to hound someone down by phone calls and all that stuff. They're just quick, easy, online.
A one-stop shop.
Nice.
So they can ask questions through the messaging tab on there. They can submit warranty requests. And it's available 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
So they can get in there. So our basic process is we do a 60-day evaluation, and then we do an 11-month evaluation.
Yeah.
So for items that aren't urgent, plumbing leak or an electrical issue or something like that, they'll hold their request until 60 days. And at that point, we come out, take a look, do another walkthrough with them, make sure that we're looking at what's maybe covered, what may be just a normal maintenance item, educating the buyer on or the homeowner on what we will be taking action on. And then we manage that for the builder as well. So approved items we're sending to the trade contractors and scheduling with the homeowners to make repairs.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So it just kind of makes the process simple for a homeowner at that point, or new buyer of new construction. Just trying to make it easier. And then you're also making it easier on the builder.
That's right.
Because they don't have to worry about dealing with this stuff, and they can just focus on building the next home.
That's exactly right. They don't have to have staff, to come out and be a customer service rep. They can focus on the next project, as you've mentioned. They don't have to have their superintendents pulled off their job site to go take care of these little things.
Yeah, and they're always just little things, too.
Yeah.
It's not something that the superintendent, who is very knowledgeable, they shouldn't be the ones getting pulled in to do that kind of thing. But they're usually the face of the company.
Right.
So they're the ones that have to usually do it.
That's right.
So that's a brilliant
And they're always
idea.
one of the busiest, too. So
Exactly.
getting their attention, that's big. So let me just clarify for our listeners. This is a service that the builder would retain you versus the buyer, correct?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. The builder
Good
partners with us.
clarification.
Yeah. And then we just provide our services for the full year.
Okay.
So it's a great thing. It works well, and the third party aspect is great as well, because we're an unbiased third party. So we're not the builder coming back and having maybe a perceived bias there. We're just telling the homeowners we're making these determinations based off of the warranty and the industry standard, and we're neutral.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you can then advise them too if they're being a little irrational on things too. You can be like, "Come on, man! I mean, it's a piece of carpet.
That's
it's a thread of carpet versus So just since we're on this topic, the 30 to 60 day walkthrough, what are the most common things that you guys that are brought to your attention, or that homeowners see in the first 30 to 60 days?
In new construction, almost every single house, there's probably 3 categories of warranty requests that always pop up, and they're pretty much settling related.
Yeah, exactly.
We can say settling, we can say shrinkage. The materials kind of shrink throughout the first phase. We've got drywall cracking. So you're always going to see some drywall cracks develop, some more than others depending on when the house was framed. it was framed during the winter and it got real wet, it's going to move and evaporate and shift a little bit more than a house that was framed when it was 90 degrees.
Yeah.
But you're going to see drywall cracks. You're going to see some nail pops work their way out. So that's very common. Grout, where the backsplash meets the counter, we always see some cracks there. So you'll start seeing those over the first couple months. Particularly these settling-related warranty requests, we do wait until the 11-month review.
Yeah,
so we do
because it's just going to get worse, or it's going to expand to even more. And if you fix it right now, it's just going to keep going.
You're going to see more, and there's various warranties that home builders purchase, and almost all of them, I'd say probably all of them, provide a one-time repair for it only. So if we're doing it early on at the 60-day, and then they see more cracking occur, they're not coming back again.
Interesting.
So we want to wait till the end of that 1 year and do them all at one time.
Yep. Which is why you do the 11-month, because you don't want to go 12-month, because then it's over.
Yeah, you don't want to go
11,
past that expiration date. Yeah,
exactly. Smart.
Yeah.
So tell me how you got into the industry and why you kind of saw this gap and filled it with your company.
Sure. So I actually worked for a company that did the same type thing. They weren't quite as innovative as us. They didn't have the online accounts and everything, and that might have been more about the technology at the time.
Yeah.
But it was about, 05, 06 when I worked for this company, and they were doing the third-party management, basically. A little bit different, but that was it. When the crash occurred in 08, that's when they pretty much went under, and when I started this. I had to question myself, do I want to go find just a regular job somewhere, or I really like the business model here, do I want to just kind of jump in and see if I can get it going?
Make it a little more innovative, make it easier, simpler. and
streamline everything, and then just get out there and try to start selling to builders, which is what I did. Got a couple contracts in 08, luckily, because builders were dropping like flies.
They were dropping like flies. I started in 2005, January 2005, so...
Yeah.
I know.
Yep. So it was tough. I got my foot in the door at one builder, and they stuck with me for the first couple of years. So that's what really allowed me to grow.
Paid your bills.
Yep. Paid my bills. I was just doing just me doing it for the first couple of years. But it worked out. And then about 2012, the market started really picking back up. Builders started talking to each other more about our services. And we're currently at 29 builders that we work for. Yeah,
that's awesome.
We might be doing. I'm projecting probably next year about 500 homes we'll have enrolled at any given time.
Wow,
so it's really going well.
What do you think number of homes this year that you'd be helping out with?
This year, probably we're going to end up about 350.
Wow,
350.
Yeah, that's a lot of houses.
Yep, and there's five of us, so we're busy.
Yeah, you're very busy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, I guess give me an idea of or maybe kind of explain to people that are considering buying a new home versus buying a house that was built 30 years ago or whatever. What's the difference, and is there any sort of ever walkthrough with that?
Sometimes, but not mostly. You're not going to get a walkthrough process with an existing home.
Yeah.
The big difference is the warranty.
Yep.
I don't think it's actually a state law in Washington to provide a 1-year workmanship and materials warranty like it is in like California. There is like habitability laws and things where you have to have heating and the basics. But the workmanship and materials is more of a warranty that most builders provide on their own. But it is something that they have to because every builder's doing it. But it's great. So you're not going to be left behind, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
When you buy new construction, you're going to get that guarantee that if something does fail, you're going to get it fixed. Versus
for an
if you're buying an existing home,
it is what it is.
Yeah.
You do your house inspection, and it's like, it needs a roof, and this toilet. You flush it and it just keeps running and running and running. So
and then you got to call a plumber.
Exactly.
You can't call us or the builder.
So what's the most common question that you get from buyers? Maybe one or two common questions that you get.
Yeah, it's usually what's warranty and what's maintenance. So very common maintenance things. Maintaining your sod.
Oh,
this is a big one. If new sod requires a lot of maintenance, watering, fertilizing, aeration, dethatching. When they're laying new sod down, it does not have a mature root system. It doesn't have a root system at all.
Yeah, you're laying a piece of cut up grass, basically.
It's just sitting
on
on
top
top
of a piece of
soil,
dirt.
and it needs a lot of love to be able to mature up to a mature lawn. That can take 1 or 2 years even.
Wow.
And if you're not maintaining it and you're letting it die off in the dry weather, it's not going to develop that root system, and you're going to have drainage issues. So that's a big one.
Okay. So do you educate buyers on how to do it correctly then?
Yep, we do that up front. That's part of our walkthrough process. So it's going to be part of that orientation service that we do. When we're walking around outside, we're looking at the grass and explaining how much maintenance is involved and what kind of problems can have a result of not enough maintenance.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
All right. Well, I know I got a bunch more questions. I'm sure Dan has some. He's been staying quiet this whole time. So we got to take a quick break. Stay tuned for more from Kevin Pierce of Cascade Builder Services right after the break.
Stay tuned. There's more Seattle Real Estate Radio coming up here on Business Radio 1300 KKOL. We're back with more Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts, Christian Nossum and Dan Keller.
Hello, and welcome back to Seattle Real Estate Radio here on KKOL 1300 AM. We are joined yet again with the one and only, as I said earlier, Kevin Pierce of Cascade Builder Services.
Second time in my life.
Second time he's ever heard that, and he's still the one and only. He's the man.
Yeah, he's bringing some gold today.
He's bringing a ton of gold. Builders, if you're watching or listening, you really should consider him. And that's not just me saying that because I get something out of it, because I don't.
Yep.
But it just, I can hear it from, or I hear it a lot from the buyers that I help, because I'm a real estate agent. From the buyers that buy new construction, they love the house leading up to it. Love the construction, love the craftsmanship. Builder was great in the walkthrough, and then after the fact, getting them to come out and patch that nail pop, or the grout at the countertop and the backsplash that cracked, and it is a pain, and that's where you completely lose everything that you built up to that point, reputation wise. You've lost it at that point, because unfortunately that's what the buyers remember. Well, even though 99.9% of the house has already been completed and you've done a great job, they remember that you never came out and it was a pain. And that's where Kevin and Cascade Builder Services can definitely help out.
Yeah, you've built a great product. You've done a great job.
Yeah.
And then reputation. We're small business owners. Reputation is key. And then one small ball being dropped at the end can ruin it all. We've seen it a lot.
Yep.
So the first segment was spending a lot of time showing the benefits to a potential home buyer that was building a new home. Yep. I'm listening between the lines, if you will, reading between the lines while you guys were talking during that first episode. And as a small business owner myself, lights are going off going, man, this is massive value to a builder. So Kevin, why don't you kind of just in your words, give us the main benefits of your services to a builder.
Yeah, absolutely. As Christian mentioned, I mean, preserving the reputation and making sure that feel-good feeling prior to closing continues all the way through the first year. The builders spend so much time and effort making sure that their buyers are happy and the house looks great and they love it and the closing process works. And then it can all fall apart during the first year if you're not following up and providing great customer service.
And you know how many times I hear about that? A lot.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's really unfortunate because I know the builders are doing a really good job. And obviously the house is a great house. But you're going to get nail pops. You're going to get these stupid little things that pop up.
Right.
If you're not responsive and you're, as a builder, aren't going out there and fixing it, that's all really the buyer. That's the last impression, and that's the lasting impression as well.
That's right.
And it really, it's too bad because some of the good builders are getting kind of bad reputations because of that.
It's absolutely true. And a big challenge after closing for builders is the amount of time that they have to spend chasing down their trade contractors that did the work.
Which makes sense because the tradesmen, they already got paid.
Right.
They're done.
Yep.
They don't want to have to come back and deal with this. And they figure, if I don't have to, if I just keep not responding to these phone calls and messages, I won't have to do it.
That's right.
But
and the builder can kind of give up and leave the homeowner, in limbo. And we're the ones who are going to keep that persistency going.
Yeah.
So how do you guys do that? What do you do that maybe a builder doesn't have the time for?
So just persistency. We have office personnel that are calling or emailing every day if we need to.
Mm-hmm. You basically hire ex-collection people and hey, get out there.
Similar
Loan
attitudes
sharks.
with a lot of these trade contractors, actually.
Maybe you need to hire one. Maybe that would be a good
Right,
person.
Well, let me ask you this. Are there conversations that you have with these trade contractors up front, or the builder does that and say, hey, listen, we are retaining, Kevin and his company to, carry this out?
So we every chance we get, we push to have builders trade up their trades because we work with, hundreds and hundreds of trades through, the 29 builders that we currently work for. We know the good ones.
Yeah.
So when we're getting in with new builders, we're looking at their trade lists and just saying, hey, have you thought about using these guys instead? Mm-hmm. And of course, there's a balance there with how much they charge.
The cost and what you get. I mean, that's always the balance.
Yep. There's several builders, that are all about saving that dollar. And then they're hurting on the other end when they want to come back for that follow up on warranty. So that's a tough one to balance. So we certainly understand the saving money part.
Yeah.
But
it's a business.
If you want referrals and you want to sell more homes later on, you got to have happy homeowners.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're saving long term. I'm sure a builder would save by maybe hiring somebody that you don't necessarily recommend, because it's cheaper,
right.
But by hiring you instead to hound them, to get it done,
sure
at the end of the day, they're actually probably still coming out ahead.
Right.
So that's interesting.
Well, you and I both know with, obviously, our presence on Yelp, how powerful reputation is, how powerful social proof is. And so I know for a fact that it works the same way with builders. So no, I see the massive value from the accountability, keeping, I don't want to call them subs, but you call them trades,
subs.
Yep. keeping them accountable.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And it's also, I mean, as a builder, if they don't hire you, what are they normally doing? How does that process work? If they're dealing with it themselves, how does that?
Oftentimes, it's just their superintendents. They're going out and trying to hound the trades because, of course, the superintendents know the trades already from building the house, but they just typically don't have the time
or the bandwidth to handle that.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Yeah. So you're saving these builders time, tons of time, it sounds like. You're adding value to their business by keeping the reputation
you're
at the top of the
preserving
charts,
that reputation big time.
Yeah.
Because it's, again, I can't reiterate it enough. Builders, pay attention to this because if you're, and the video stopped, cool. If you're not hiring this and you're losing it kind of that last second after the home is closed, I mean, it just kind of, you're ruining your whole reputation, and it's not hard. It's just a little deal.
Yep.
So,
right.
So Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I would say the third thing there, not only are we providing this value for builders, but we're making the process easier for homeowners. So they don't have to have just a list of trades or even just a builder contact number to call.
That's usually all it is. Yeah.
We have this, we kind of touched on this in the first segment, but we have our My Home page is what we call it. So our homeowners can log in anytime, keep a track of any of their warranty requests. Maybe they're not quite at their 60-day yet, but they want to log in and keep track of something they noticed in their master bedroom, something they noticed outside. They can log it in there and keep everything going. And then at the 60-day, it's all there, and we can review everything. And then we have the communication through there is great. The messaging tab. So instead of using, just Gmail or a third-party email service, we funnel everything through the My Home page.
Nice. So it's all there.
Builders can log in and see all of their homeowners and see what they're submitting for warranty, how we're communicating with their homeowners on the messaging tab, what's scheduled with their trade contractors. We have a full calendar there that shows all of the scheduled appointments. So it's a great benefit.
It's a huge benefit. I mean, as a homeowner, if I were buying and owning a new construction house, especially here in Seattle where we're so tech savvy, that would be
no-brainer.
It would it's a no-brainer rather than texting or emailing or whatever and then forgetting about it because I'm busy. I don't want to have to keep track of that. If I know, okay, I just have to log it in once. It's there. There's a track record. And it's going to be dealt with at some point.
Well, I'm looking at this, too, from a builder standpoint, and I'm writing notes as you were talking. Can the builder, do you relay that information, what's in the log, or can the builder log in? That's huge. The builder can actually say, okay, hey, the Smiths, have noted this, this, and this. Okay, I got this. It's no big deal. That's
they
fine.
can use this also for a root cause. So if they can come in and see maybe which trade contractors are having consistent problems throughout all their homes.
Yeah.
They can
Good
see
tracking.
this information and really use the data to further benefit themselves
In the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, Kevin, I can see just massive value from both sides of the fence, the buyer and the builder. It's huge. It's great stuff.
Yeah, this is
I
really
kind
good.
of want to transition out of this into kind of some misconceptions. So, what are some of the common misconceptions that people have about new construction?
I would say one of the biggest ones that we come across is not really understanding what's warranty versus what's maintenance.
Okay.
There's a lot of homeowner maintenance that is just required of them that isn't something that's covered under warranty. Warranty is for deficiencies.
Yeah.
These are for systems that have failed or things that aren't quite working as the way they really should. So there's this difference here. Some examples of homeowner maintenance. You have maybe fences or decking that requires consistent sealants. Maybe once a year, once every 2 years, depending on the product you're using. But it's an ongoing, yearly, consistent thing that you're gonna have to do to keep your deck looking nice. Something the builder's not going to do under warranty.
Yeah.
And you talk with your home buyers about kind of home maintenance, or maybe give them kind of a handout, or maybe it's in their portal.
Yeah, actually, good. Thanks for bringing that up. We provide a homeowner manual.
Oh, cool.
It's available. So part of that My Home page is also a documents tab. It's kind of a file storage locker. We upload a few default docs on a per builder basis. One of them is the homeowner manual. There's 25 pages in there on homeowner maintenance. So it talks about basically every section of the home, what is maintenance, what is warranty. So it's a very good resource.
So that probably stops a lot of questions up front that a lot of buyers end up having.
Right.
Interesting.
So we can always
Again,
point
saving
them
your builder more time.
Exactly.
The phone calls into the office. Hey, what about this?
That's right.
Super valuable.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
That's interesting. That's very, very good info.
Well, one of the things I think you already hit on was the whole settling issue. We've built, we've remodeled, we bought new construction. Our first house that we bought, my wife and I, in 2004 was a new build by a big builder, which was kind of a mistake, but we won't get into that. But the settling, and our misconception when we bought the house, because we had the tile countertops and the tile backsplash, is that it just kept settling and it kept cracking and it kept separating. And our misconception was that this is a crappy builder. It was a crappy sub that installed the countertops. And what you were saying earlier is, and this is where you would come into play to say this is not bad construction.
Yeah.
This is typical.
Yep.
So talk a little bit more about settling as we kind of wrap up today.
Yeah, so settling is kind of a scary word sometimes to homeowners.
Yeah.
They think settling means their foundation is sinking into the ground.
exactly what they
which,
think.
Isn't typically the case. Settling isn't really what the verbiage we want to use. Shrinkage is more of what's happening.
When I hear that word, I think of Seinfeld. I'm sorry. I think of George Costanza. Anyways, keep going, man.
Yeah,
You've said it twice, and I'm just trying to do the best I had to say it. Okay.
I was questioning whether I wanted to use
It's
that.
good. It's awesome. We need a laugh.
radio here. So the materials shrink after you install them. New materials shrink. The grout is shrinking a little bit. You do have a little bit of that settling that does occur, but most of it is the shrinkage and the movement of the home. As we kind of touched on this in the first segment too. If you frame a house when it's wet, all of that moisture is going to evaporate throughout the first year. And when the process happens, you're going to have some movement.
Good.
You'll have the grout cracks that you're talking about. You'll have the drywall cracks and nail pops, and then door adjustments.
Okay.
Yep.
Big one.
All the normal stuff.
Yep.
So, Kevin, how can people get a hold of you if they wanted to, as a builder, if they wanted to?
As a builder, absolutely. CascadeBuilderServices.com. There's a quote form right on the front page there. You can scroll to the bottom and get a quote from us.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on. We got to take a break.
There's more Seattle Real Estate Radio coming up here on Business Radio 1300 KKOL. We're back with more Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts, Christian Nossum and Dan Keller.
Hello, and welcome back to Seattle Real Estate Radio here on KKOL 1300 AM. Damn, that was good.
That was really good.
That was a really good show. This is our last segment, so we're not quite done. But that was amazing. For any builders that actually listen to this show, if they do, they definitely need to consider Cascade Builder Services. And it's going to save their reputation.
Yep.
I mean, it's not very much money.
Well, I mean, I
for
look
what
at
it
it
is.
twofold. I look at it from, if you and I've worked with builders before, and I know you have too.
Exactly.
If you're the listing agent for a builder and I'm the preferred lender for a builder, I see the value twofold. I see the value, massive value to the builder. But then on the flip side of it too, I see that because I'm really picky on making sure that my clients, my buyers, my borrowers that are borrowing cash from us, money from us, are informed, super informed. They know from budgeting to process to what's next to, okay, we closed on your home. When something comes up, I want to be the person that you call. And I know you and I both run our businesses like that.
Yeah,
so
we're always a resource for our clients forever.
And I think this is huge to both the builder and the borrower. And I don't know, I think this is just a phenomenal guest, and I can't wait to introduce Kevin to builders, and I can't wait to, next time I have a client that's interested in purchasing new construction.
Have him watch that first segment that we had him on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too. I mean, that's something that we can definitely share with people after we do our home buyer classes, which we have one coming up next week. Or no, this week. Holy cow. This week we have one coming up.
Yeah.
Woo! At the Upstairs in Belton. It's almost actually sold out. But we actually take the page down as soon as we have it full. I think we only have like 3 or 4 seats left. But it's at beersandhomebuying.com. That's BEERS, and then the word and homebuying.com. So beersandhomebuying.com. Go check that out if you want to go to the class. I think it's on the 20. It's on Wednesday. This Wednesday, whatever that date would be, 28th, I believe, from 5:30 to 6:30 at the Upstairs, which is in Belltown. It's a sweet venue. Actually went to a birthday party there a couple years ago, and it's really cool.
Cool.
And we actually. Anyways, 28th, 29th, whatever Wednesday is. I don't know what day of the week. I never know dates.
26th, 28th?
Yeah, 28th. That's what I thought. Yeah.
This week, man.
This week. Anyways, that was a great show.
Yeah, it was
before we go really much further, you got to give us your mortgage minute. So hold on. Let me click some
okay.
cool,
Yep.
powerful buttons, and boom.
Welcome to this week's Mortgage Minute with Dan Keller.
What's the latest?
The latest.
There's a lot going
on. Yeah. So last week, the Fed.
Last Thursday.
Yeah, Janet Yellen spoke again. So I send out a lot of commentary, and I wasn't, I don't know. I just didn't really feel like this announcement was going to be a huge market mover. Prior to the announcement, we saw mortgage rates trend upward a little. Let me backtrack. My name is Dan Keller. My MLO number is 115349. Compliance alert. No, I do need to say that because I'm going to talk about the markets right now. So, prior to the meeting, Monday and Tuesday, so a week ago, mortgage rates did trend up a little.
I got your little email alert telling me kind of what you projected was going to happen, and you were dead
Spot on. So basically, what I tweeted and what I projected was, I don't think the Fed's going to move rates at all. But there will be talk about a December rate hike potential. The potential for a December rate hike, and that's exactly how the conversations went. The good news is, the bond market, which controls mortgage rates, reacted nicely to that news, and mortgage rates went down. It was almost like, I don't like using the word bubble, but it was almost like there was this bubble leading up to the announcement, and then
thinking it was going to be one thing.
Yeah, and then a slight little needle puncture, where it just kind of was like, okay.
Yeah. All right.
So
we don't have to worry. Like they were worrying, building up
zero hype,
anticipation. Yeah. Oh no, and then
and so it wasn't like, oh boom, the bubble popped. It was just kind of just a nice little ease. Yep. So hey, the market has corrected itself. We're back up to trading in the 103.9 area, which is good. That's where we were about a week and a half ago. I think that's where we're going to be. Here's my long-term outlook, and here's what my message to my clients right now over the next couple of months. Two of the economists that I follow regularly, daily, have kind of been predicting that 2-year crash in the stock market, meaning something's going to happen over there. And when that happens, money is going to flow over to bonds, which will help mortgage rates. for me to think that mortgage rates could actually get better than they are right now is hard to imagine because they're at historic lows.
Yep.
But that's some of the predictions right now, and those are some of the talks that are happening. Some of the talks that are happening right now are around the stock market and kind of that little crash or collapse. So keep your eye on that. I think obviously it's an election year. Obviously we've got a lot going on overseas still. You talked about China and money going out of China. The more instability that we see in some of these foreign markets that are considered powerhouses will affect stocks and will affect mortgage rates. So just continue to tune in. I mean, I'll keep you in the loop every week, but all in all, rates are looking good. The markets are looking good. And I don't really have I don't want to really talk about rates or anything other than the markets are looking really good right now for rates.
Okay.
So
why don't you give us your compliance info one more time just to be doubly sure?
Yeah, I want to be sure on that. So my name is Dan Keller, co-host of Seattle Real Estate Radio. And I'm a mortgage loan officer at New American Funding, and my MLO number is 115349.
Niner.
So good stuff.
Yeah,
everything's good. If you know somebody who would like to save some money on their mortgage, I always say this: give me a call. I'll be honest with you. I'll give,
exactly.
Give you
Well, that again, I'm going to toot your horn for a second, not because I like you, but also because I know you actually treat people well, and you're not going to screw someone over.
Yep.
Seriously, if you are considering refinancing, don't go online and do it there. It's going to be horrible. I'm just going to tell you.
I have to
say
give
a different word.
Okay, so let me tell you this. One of your clients, and I won't mention their name on the air, we closed a transaction for them 2.5 months ago.
Okay.
And so he calls me yesterday. I'm staying in touch with him. I shot him back an email, and I sent him something in the mail, and he called me. And he was like, I didn't really think about talking with you about this, but my wife had a home down in Tacoma. It's a rental. And right during the process or at the end, we were getting this stuff in the mail, and they were saying they could save us like $300 a month or $400 a month. And so we just responded to it, and we're just now closing the refi on that. And he was like, but they put us in an FHA loan. And I was like, give me the address. And I look it up. They've got 70% loan to value, tons of equity, and they just refied them into an FHA loan. And I said, but you're still paying PMI. And he goes, yeah. And I said, why? And he goes, I don't know, because they're saving us money. And I was like, what should I have done? And I said, call me.
Yeah.
So basically they wasted time and money on a refinance for the wrong loan program.
Jeez.
So anyhow, it's just little things like that. Advice matters.
Yeah.
You're going to get a ton of stuff in the mail. Just let me vet it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't cost you any money to have me look at stuff.
Yeah.
So
shoot Dan a quick text or an email and let him tell you what's actually going on. Because there's always that fine print in every single marketing piece.
Yes, and there may be a better program, or
and if it's good, you're going to tell them.
Yeah.
I know that because you've told me. Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm not the best for this situation.
Yep.
Go here.
Yeah.
I know they're the best at this situation.
Yep.
So.
Anyhow, so great show today, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to get out of here and go have a nice dinner and a glass of wine.
It's your birthday, man.
Yep.
It's your birthday.
Yep. So do me a favor, though, real quick for our guests, because you know a lot more about this. Let's kind of come back full circle on the whole China thing and money and what that means.
Yeah, well, it's kind of crazy. So I see, there is a lot of money flowing out of China, a lot of money flowing into the U.S., and the majority of that money is going into real estate, and it's going to real estate in the Seattle area market, mostly east side, mostly Bellevue, Redmond, Kirkland, that area, Newcastle. The higher-end, nicer neighborhoods is where most of the Chinese buyers are buying because they want location to, a lot of times, Microsoft, or very high-end businesses that people know, well-known companies. They want great schools, which is there. They want bigger lot sizes, newer homes, nicer homes, and all those things fit that bill. So that's where a lot of the money is flowing. It is not flowing into necessarily the Seattle area market, the Seattle, I guess, proper market.
Yep.
It's mostly east side.
Okay.
So as a Seattle seller, if you're under 800, you don't plan on having Chinese money cash coming in and buying your place, because that's probably not going to happen.
Something to keep your eye on. We'll definitely come back to this in the next
we'll
week.
be keeping an eye on this forever. So thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
This has been a great show. We will be back next Monday from 3 to 4, and then they rebroadcast this again from 5 to 6 on Saturday. Thanks a lot.
The show, or for more information, visit SeattleRealEstateRadio.com. That's SeattleRealEstateRadio.com. And be sure to tune in again next Monday at 3 for more Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts, Christian Nossum and Dan Keller, right here on Business Radio 1300 KKOL.